everyone. Lovely to see you. Hello, Mark, and Nathan, Holger. Hello, Jeff, Grace, Esther, Malcolm, and Jeff, and George, Richard, John.
Hello.
Isaac, and Tara. Okay, so lovely to be with you all. Just a reminder that for the first part of this meeting, you are muted, and at the end of the meditation, you're welcome to unmute yourself for whatever questions you may have. So sit comfortably and welcome. Welcome your experience just as it appears to you. As consciousness, as awareness. The reality which hears these words. There is nothing that is lacking, nothing that needs to be attained, to be accomplished. You are this effortless presence, already perfect, complete. The gateless gate. The borderless, edgeless presence. Appearing as this appearance, a thought, a sensation, an image, a memory. Without being augmented or diminished. You are not an object in space and time. You're the reality of consciousness, of presence, awareness, beingness. There is one reality. formless, nameless, which goes on by all names, all forms. Every experience you have, every thought, every perception, every bodily sensation, refers to this borderless presence. This awareness which perceives this perception effortlessly, you are the ocean. You've never been anything else. And yet, in this dream, we imagine ourselves to be a wave. A person with a story and a history. Somebody in time and space. A personal self, a limited consciousness. Hoping and trying to find a way to happiness. We imagine ourselves to be a good person or a bad person, and it keeps changing. We imagine ourselves to be stuck in certain situations, to be limited, to be bound. Sometimes we imagine ourselves to be a victim, a subject. That is often the case when we overlook our reality. This borderless aware presence, which is neither male or female, which is not located in any particular location. We overlook our essential nature, We imagine ourselves to be a son and daughter, a father and mother, somebody. We perceive the world as separate from ourselves. While, in fact, there is no separation anywhere in the entire universe. Listen to the dog barking. Where is it? The breath. The sensation of your feet on the ground. Where is it? What is it? What is it made of? Is it not this borderless awareness? Imagining ourselves to be the limited body mind. It's like standing at the shore of the ocean with your back turned to the ocean. And you wonder, where is the ocean? It's right here. Right here as this reality, the reality of awareness, of consciousness. We are so habituated to pursue and give validity to objective experiences. But awareness is not an objective experience. It's not like perceiving a rainbow or lightning or the oak tree in the yard. The revelation of The reality of awareness is a glimpse into reality, not a phenomenal perception. It's a noumenal knowingness. I know I am. I know I am aware. Direct a perception. Awakening is this simple recognition. The recognition that awareness is real and that I is this awareness, what we refer to as I, is this reality, the reality that perceives. I perceive. I am. I know. This glimpse into the reality of awareness the reality of I is the crack in the eggshell. That experience is not merely phenomenal, but it is as well noumenal. And in fact, upon further investigation and contemplation, we realize that this non-phenomenal experience is the reality of all phenomenal experiences. That you cannot have the oak tree without awareness. You cannot have a toothache without awareness. But you can have awareness without a toothache. You can have awareness without the oak tree. You can have awareness without a thought, but you cannot have a thought without awareness. You cannot have a sensation without awareness, but you can have awareness without a sensation, without a toothache. You cannot have a sense of being a personal self without awareness. Awareness is required for you to feel that you are a person, a man, a woman. But awareness does not need the impression of being a man and a woman in order to be itself. The sense of separation requires awareness, but awareness does not require the sense of awareness, the sense of separation. So in the glimpse about the reality of awareness, the reality of I, we also glimpse that there is one reality. There is no reality to the personal character you imagine yourself to be, that you feel yourself to be outside of the reality of consciousness. There is no personal self, no limitation within awareness. There is no personal self that awakens. Awakening is the glimpse that there is no personal self and glimpse into the reality of consciousness. So whenever you go to the model that I am this person, you are going in the wrong direction. Whenever you contemplate what is going to happen to me, you are in the la-la land, in the dreamland, in the land of ignorance. Whenever you imagine how am I going to get there and when will I get there and how come I have not gotten there in the last 20 years, you are in the realm of ignorance and illusion and error. So welcome your experience without any past, no past, fresh presence, fresh moment of being, of discovery, of inquiry, of not knowing. Undefined. I don't know. I am this not knowing. There is no actual character that needs to know something or that is lacking something. It's just a narrative, a novel of sort. Okay, so if you have any questions, anything that you would like to explore, please make sure to unmute yourself. Hello, Shai. Let me see. Yes, Shay.
Hi.
Hi, Shay.
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you so much for this great, let me just lower my hand here. Okay. Thank you so much for this great guided meditation and for all of your insights and information. I'd like to get clarity on something, Magdi. Okay?
Yes.
I understand in the moment of pure perceiving, there is just pure perceiving. There's no me, no you, no separation. However, what I notice is a split of a second later, the mind comes in and says, I perceived, I saw, I heard. So I guess I don't know how to abide as in the I am or as awareness, because in a split of a second, the mind comes in and says, I did it. I hope my question is clear.
Yes. The mind that is saying, I did it. In fact, there is a thought that appears to you. The thought appears that says, I did it. It's not that, as a way of speaking, we say, excuse me, the mind says this and that. So maybe it's more correct to say, a thought appears, I did it, right?
Yes.
Yes. So yes, the reason why the thought appears that is I did it is because it is true. You did it. You perceived the tree. You perceived the sensation. You perceived the thought, the memory, the image. It's true that you perceived that or that you did that. But the question is, what is this you? Now, it's possible that we say, okay, Shay, did so-and-so. Shay, perceived so-and-so, right? Usually,
yes.
Right. Now, in fact, Shay is a body mind.
Yes.
It's an object. This mom and dad, there was a baby boy, and they said, oh, we're going to name this body. We're going to name this body. It's a male body. We're going to name it Shay, right? So Shay is the name of the body.
Exactly. Yes.
It's not your name. It's the name.
Of course.
It's the name of the body. So you could have. You go buy a car. You buy a car. It's a Honda. They call the car Honda, right? The Honda is your car, but you're not the Honda. You're the manager. You're the owner. You're the caretaker. You're the user of the car, right?
Yes, that's right.
Same thing with the body. You are the caretaker of the body. You're the manager of the body. When the body expresses tiredness, you take the body to rest. When the body expresses hunger, you take the body to dining. When there is a toothache, you take the body to the dentist. So I is not something which appears to you. I is the reality that perceives. Right now, you perceive this perception, right?
Yes, but the only problem is in pure perception, everything is one. A split of a second later, there is separation.
There is no split of a second later. Have you ever experienced? Let's try to experience now.
Yes.
Let's try to experience a split of a second later. How do you do that?
Perceive everything at once, and then a split of a second later, there's separation again. There's you, me.
My question is, can you experience right now?
Yes.
Can you experience a split of a second later?
No.
So it's not an actual experience. If you can experience a split of a second later, then I'm inviting you to experience it right now. Let's experience right now a split of a second later. If you cannot experience a split of a second later now, that means you cannot experience a split of a second later any now.
Oh,
You follow me?
yes.
So we never, it's not an experience. A split of a second later is not an actual experience. It's just a story. It's a thought. It's a belief that there is such a thing as a split of a second later or a split of a second before, right?
Yes.
But it's not our direct experience. We never, none of us has an actual experience of a split of a second later or a split of a second before. It's not part of our scenario. That's not part of our experience.
Yes.
Okay, so we don't need to speak about split of a second later as if it's real, as if we're talking about something, so there is no such thing as split of a second later. Coming back to I, or coming back to this what you question about, what is this I that perceives? First, I just want to reassure you that the thought that says I perceive is not a problem.
Oh, it's not?
No, not at all. It's not a problem. I perceive is a fact. You're describing your experience, saying I perceive. The only thing is to be clear about what I is. So let's bring some clarity right now about what I is, right? Are you okay? All right.
Yes.
So right now, I am. Yes?
Yes.
You agree on that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, right now, we could say, for example, I perceive the hand of this body, which is called, mom and dad call this body Megdi. So I perceive the hand, right?
Yes.
That's a fact, right? The hand,
yes.
You can call it Megdi's hand, right? Or Shay's hand, yes?
Yes.
I also perceive an image of Megdi. You can conjure up an image of Shay, an image of Megdi. You perceive an image, right?
Yes.
And also perceive a sensation, of your chest or your belly or your legs or your back, the sensations of the body. You can experience the sensations, right?
Yes.
For example, the sensation of your hand on your cheek.
Yes.
You perceive the sensation.
Yes, yes.
If you perceive an object,
yes.
Does that mean that you are the object?
No.
Okay. If you perceive the body, does that mean you are the body?
No.
If you perceive an image of the body, does it mean that you are the body or the image?
No.
If you perceive sensations of the body, does it mean that you are the body?
No.
Okay, so what I'm trying to point to is that we perceive the body. The body is an experience that we perceive.
Okay.
We also perceive the weather, the heat. When it's hot, we perceive the heat. We also perceive the wind. When it's windy and the leaves in the tree, they move around. We perceive the wind and the leaves. We perceive the sunshine. Yes. So we perceive the body. We perceive the sunshine. We perceive the wind. We perceive the songs of the birds. That which perceives is not an object of perception. So, but yet, I is undeniable, but it is undeniable as awareness. You follow?
Yes, I do.
Awareness is undeniable. It cannot, I am aware is undeniable. Nothing could deny awareness. Do you agree with that?
I do. Can I just ask a small question,
Yeah.
or are you doing?
Yes.
So even the appearance of separation is being perceived by awareness?
Absolutely. When you perceive, oh, that I am this body, and this body is only 5'8", it's limited, it's only it can only function in Tel Aviv, or it's limited. You perceive or the belief. When you perceive the belief or the feeling that I am limited,
Yes.
that feeling, that belief, that thought, that belief appears in awareness.
Yes. Yes.
But the belief that I am mortal, that I'm limited, that I'm whatever, miserable, doesn't make awareness miserable, doesn't make awareness limited. In other words, awareness can perceive an ant, or it can perceive an elephant. When awareness perceives an ant, awareness doesn't become small. When it perceives an elephant, awareness doesn't become big.
Okay. So I'll just finish up with just a little small experiment. Just 1 second. This is the glasses, okay? Well, before I name it. So pure perception, everything is one.
Yes.
Now perceiving there is a separation between me and the glasses.
Sorry, what did you say? Repeat that.
I'm saying that when I pick this up, at the moment of pure perception, everything is one.
Yes.
Then I'm perceiving that, oh, I'm here, the glasses are here, separation. But that's also being perceived.
That's, yeah, you are perceiving the thought and the belief that there is separation. You're perceiving an inference. You're inferring distance. The concept of distance. The concept of distance is a useful concept, because in the realm of manifestation, we can use the concept of distance. For example, I could tell you from here to New York City, it's going to take you 8 hours by, in the plane, it's going to take you 3 days in the train. So the concept of distance is a useful concept. The concept, so it's a model. Distance is a model. So yes, you perceive the inference. You're inferring a distance.
Yes.
Yes. So, but there's no issue with that. I mean, if you infer a distance, it's okay. When I tell you, for example, your car is parked 100 feet down the street, it's a useful concept, right? Because you can visualize the distance. You can visualize, because you have learned, over time, you adopted this concept is useful for you. You know that 100 feet, when I tell you 5 feet or 100 feet, you represent, there is a representation that is useful for you, for the body mind. So
the body
for
mind.
example, that you need 10 minutes, the body mind requires 10 minutes walking to get to the car.
Right. Oh, so I see. So the separation or the distance is good for the body mind in order to function in the world.
Yes, distance does not mean separation. Separation is a belief that consciousness is limited and dependent on the body mind, and that there is in fact a separate reality outside of the reality of consciousness. That's what separation means. At least in Advaita. Separation does not negate the concept of distance.
I see.
The belief that I am a limited, separate body-mind, meaning I consciousness depends on the body-mind, is limited by the body-mind. That is separation. That is ignorance.
Oh, I see. I see.
It's a belief, because in our experience, we are this moment, our experience is awareness.
Yes.
Yes?
I understand.
And this experience of awareness, we don't experience a male awareness or a blue awareness or a female awareness or a big awareness or a small awareness, a hot awareness or a lukewarm awareness. Awareness does not have those phenomenal limitations or qualities.
Yes. 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 I understand, Magdi.
And that is our experience.
I just have to remember that pure perceiving doesn't mean I always need to be in the state. I always need to be in the state of before seeing objects or stuff like that.
No.
Like
awareness is not a state. It's our natural. It's our reality. It's a reality of everything. So, when you refer to I, let me say I don't need to. Awareness is completely free from any needs.
right.
A need is a concept that is connected to, well, first there are biological needs, physiological needs that apply to the body-mind.
Yes.
That apply into the realm of the phenomenal realm.
Right.
And then there is the psychological needs, the need to become somebody, the need to be known, the need to attain a realization, the need to, and these are connected with the belief that awareness is limited and lacking. But awareness is not lacking anything because it's not in the phenomenal realm. The reality of your experience is not phenomenal. Phenomena are appearances within awareness, like waves are appearances within the ocean. Or like shapes of the smoke. The smoke has different shapes.
Yes.
So phenomena is shapes and forms, vibrations, light, reflections of light, colors are vibrations of fields, electromagnetic fields.
Yes.
So phenomena is the movement of the ocean. So awareness in movement, in motion, is phenomena. So phenomena is awareness in motion, or the creation of awareness. So that, like in your night dreams, you have a lot of phenomena. People, things, I don't know. They are your creation. They're your creation of the dreamer, the dreamer's mind, right?
Yes.
But their reality of the dragons or the reality of the pink elephants in your dream, their reality is not in the elephant, is not in the pink elephant. The reality of the pink elephant is in your dream. You're the dreamer. You're the dreamer's mind.
Yes.
So similarly, phenomena, colors, shapes, sounds, sensations, perceptions, in the waking state, their reality is not in them, is not in the object, is not in the reality of the tree, is not in the tree. There isn't a tree reality outside of the reality of consciousness. So the tree reality is like borrows its reality from consciousness. Consciousness lends its reality. It's not proper way to say it. Consciousness appears as a tree to itself, because that which perceives the tree is I awareness perceives the tree. So the tree appears from awareness because there's only one reality. There isn't a separate reality out there which is manufacturing trees.
Right.
So there's one reality. And the reality that we know right now, that is right now, is awareness. Yes? There's no other reality.
Yes.
Thought that says there is another reality, the reality of the thought, which says there is another reality, the reality of that thought is awareness.
Oh. Yeah, so yeah, I get it. It's like awareness is giving birth to everything, if I could use.
Is giving birth to everything and is the perceiver.
And also the perceiver.
It gives birth out of itself and it perceives. It's entertaining itself. Self-entertainment, you know. It puts together the cast, it puts together the play, it puts together all the scenes, and is the viewer. So it conceives, creates, perceives, and destroys. But not in time, not in time, in this instant moment, which is not in time.
Okay, so I guess I'll just keep myself, well, I say keep myself, it's not myself, but just stay as perceiving and not fall into the mind games, even that's perceived.
Just be clear, about when you refer to I, that it is I awareness which is referring to itself.
Yes.
There's only one reality, one I. Whenever we say I, it is I which is saying I. It is I awareness which is referring to itself.
Okay, I got it. I understand. Okay, thank you so much, Mati.
Okay, Shay. Okay. Any question?
Magdi, John.
Hello,
Can
John.
you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. Can you go over the create, perceives, and destroys? Because as soon as you said that, and you say no time, well, I hear that in Advaita, non-duality. Yet, what instantly pops up is creating and perceiving and destroying its time. So it's hard. I'm not clear with that.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Thank you.
So time is a distance between two events. Event A, event B, and time is a distance between two events. But in our experience, we don't experience two events. we experience this as awareness. We don't experience a before, a moment before or a moment after. We don't experience two events. So time is a concept, a useful concept, at the realm of the body-mind realm, how we function. We make appointment, say, okay, see you tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Oh, it took me 8 hours to travel from, San Francisco to San Diego, blah, blah. But in our experience, we don't experience two events simultaneously. We experience just awareness experiencing itself as this perception, but not only as this perception, it also awareness knows itself. That's inherent within awareness, which is a non-experience. It's a non-experience that awareness is knowing. Awareness is knowingness and beingness. Awareness is and knows it is. These are inherent, knows it is. I know I am, and I know I am. These are inherent qualities of awareness. Being, knowing, Sat-Chit. But back to your question about conception, creation, perception, destruction, not being in time. If you look at your experience moment by moment, it's like, there is this, I forgot the name of it, this product that you light and it just, it burns so quickly. It burns so quickly. Sometimes there is a metaphor of the lightning bug. You look at the light of lightning bug. It's gone already. By the time you say it, it's gone. That's a way of speaking. In your experience right now, moment by moment, every appearance is appearing and disappearing, but it's not appearing and disappearing a second later. It's not like it's appearing, dig, 1 second, oh, now it disappeared. No. Right? I mean, are you following what I'm saying? That
I'm hearing what you're saying, Magdi. I'm hearing what you're saying. It's just this moment. It's just now, in a way, I guess. And yet at the same time, it just somehow it boggles, the thinker, the time, just the words themselves. And so there is no, because I guess what I'm seeing is there is no, like you said, there's no separation between these two different events, and so there's no distance, there's none of that. I see a leaf moving on a tree outside of the car. I know a leaf moving. I know a window. I know it, and it's just the imagination, I guess, or the thought processes that divide it. And as you said, with the other person, you said something about being useful. So it can be useful sometimes to divide and bring time in or whatever.
It's part of
but
the
in
play.
reality, there is no time.
Yeah, it's part of the play, right? I mean, when you see the leaf falling, you're inferring a leaf falling because you're not seeing a leaf falling.
Yeah.
A leaf falling is a narrative, which is okay. I'm not being critical of mind narratives.
Yes.
You know, it's a narrative. It's the play of consciousness. A leaf is falling as a narrative, but you're not experiencing a leaf falling. You're always experiencing awareness.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so awareness appears as like a movie. Like the horse running.
Yes.
The horse
Yes.
running is just this million pictures. Every picture is it's a slow motion, but when you spin it, then you see a horse running.
Yes.
Like
Yes. Yeah. The frame,
yes,
the different
yes.
frames.
So
Yeah.
in a way, that's a good metaphor to our perception. The body-mind perception is frame by frame by frame by frame by frame by frame, and so there is the narrative of the horse is running, or the leaf is being carried by the wind. This is the conceptual realm, which the mind has been organized.
Yes.
To in the way to perceive, there is a leaf falling off the tree. But the baby's eyes before the brain has been organized is there isn't yet a leaf falling.
Yeah, it's like the baby's not even thinking. There's no thoughts of that.
There is no leaf. There is no falling. It's pure.
The baby doesn't see a leaf falling. A baby doesn't see something, and
right.
Something's moving. It's not going to say it's moving. It's not going to put words to it.
Yes, but over time,
action.
But over time, we develop the conceptual realm. The mind realm, and so our perception, our conversation is within the mind realm. So we say, there is a leaf falling. Oh, how long did it take you to go downtown? Oh, it took me 4 hours. And what did you buy? Oh, I bought this and that and that. It's the play of consciousness. But because we are talking about reality, we're trying to make a direct pointing. We're trying to make a direct pointing to awareness. So when we point directly to awareness, we have to come to presence. We have to come to now, not to the narratives about now. The narrative about now. Okay, we're in satsang. We're friends. We've been meeting for many years. Right. It's okay. It's okay. That's not a problem. I'm not disregarding the narrative. I'm just saying that that satsang is not about the narrative, but it's about coming to understanding, about truth, about the reality of our experience. So in our experience, this moment, this is where we come to satsang. We come to the now, the presence. So in presence, it's just awareness.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And then, somehow thought is saying, even with the child who doesn't bring in all the language and the words and, continue to divide things with that, I guess the child is seeing activity. Well, we call it activity. We've put a label to it, but
yes, because as soon as the brain is active, even possibly within the womb, there is already some activity. Yes, it hasn't yet sort of became like concrete as a leaf and a tree, and not yet. But yes, you're right. There is activity. This is the creation. Consciousness is noumenal, non-phenomenal. So it is not in the realm of passivity or activity. Passivity and activity, meaning stillness and motion, do not apply to awareness. They apply to conceptually to speak about perceptions.
Sure.
Because we experience perceptions. And so say, okay, well, what are these perceptions? We cannot deny them. There is an impression of motion. There is an impression of time. There is an impression of space. There is an impression of objects. There are various concepts. There is right, left, north, south, close, far. How do we understand all that? So our understanding about phenomena takes us to the activities of thinking, the thoughts, perceptions, sensations, and how we classify them, right? Now,
yeah. And so we don't, go ahead. I'm sorry, go ahead.
that entire realm of mind, perceptions, sensations, and thoughts and feelings and so on, they appear to you. They appear to awareness.
Yeah. Awareness does not need activity.
Well, okay, right, it does not, but for now we're just saying that they appear within awareness. We're just describing our experience. I mean, you know, and we're not like developing some theoretical model. We're just speaking. That's how it is. Our experience, to all of us, or 7 billion of us, our experience is that awareness, perceive thoughts, perceptions, and sensations. So, and without awareness, what would a thought be? What would a perception be? Nothing. So therefore, there is a reality to phenomena, the world body mind. The reality of the world body mind is not
its own reality. It's consciousness. Yes, awareness.
It's consciousness.
Yeah, I understand. Go ahead.
And consciousness, when you contemplate consciousness, you can come to realize that consciousness does not exist in time.
Yeah.
So therefore, if consciousness does not exist in time, therefore, the world, body, mind, the reality of which is consciousness, also do not exist in time.
Say that again. The world. Yeah, the world, body, mind.
Given that consciousness does not exist in time.
Yes.
Therefore, the world, body, mind, the reality of which is consciousness.
Yes.
And we know consciousness does not exist in time. Therefore, the world, body, mind, whose reality is consciousness, also do not exist in time.
Yes. So that's, that there's an understanding of that intellectually, of course, and also sometimes, being very still or being whatever. Sometimes it's also, I have glimpses of these things, but I guess it's just the words or the language, because when you say consciousness is creating, destroying, and it just brings up like a person or a god or one of the gods creating.
No. First, just about time. In fact, you never actually experience time.
Right.
You experience a sensation, right?
Oh, I think I experience a sensation, but I think that's probably.
Let's say that you have a toothache, okay? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, so you experience sensation, you experience a thought.
Who the you is me as a person?
Always awareness. It's always awareness. I mean, you ask yourself right now. Right now, you're perceiving this perception, right? You're hearing these words, right?
Yes, I'm hearing words.
What is it that's hearing these words?
It's awareness, it's consciousness. Okay, it's not, it's the immediate moment, the imminent moment, and it's
okay, whatever perceives these words right now is your reality.
Yes. And that reality, what I hear though is that reality, and you'll say yes, is creating these perceptions, creating, destroying, perceiving.
Well, and okay. I mean, if there is one reality,
yes.
Okay, if there's one reality, therefore anything that is perceived must refer to that one reality.
Yeah, it has to be my self-consciousness. It has to be And if it's not in time, then there really is not, and there's no activity either, really, I guess. And so it's just sort of.
Ultimately, you're right. There is no activity, but yet we're speaking at the level of perception. We're speaking at a sort of a relative level. At the relative level, we're saying, okay, there are perceptions, sensations, and thoughts.
Okay.
And the reality of these experiences is I awareness.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Right.
Yes.
So the utmost, at best, the reality of our experience, at best, is the reality of awareness.
Yes.
We not have, a higher reality than the reality of awareness, because
Right.
it's awareness that perceives them.
Right.
So they are subordinate. They are subordinate.
Sure.
I'm not sure if that's the right word. They're
they're subordinate to reality. They're dependent on reality. Obviously.
Yes. Okay. That's just to make it clear that there isn't like another reality that's superior to the reality of awareness. So awareness is basically where the buck stops. Now, experiences, because they appear, because the reality is awareness.
Yes.
Therefore, they must be made out of awareness. There must be awareness itself, because awareness is the reality. Thinking is of reality.
Yeah. Now I'm hearing you. It's the language for me. It's the language, because when we start talking in relative terms, when you say aware, and then it automatically separates things. It automatically sort of divides, and I probably just get too complex with it.
Yes.
I mean,
right, because we're speaking at the relative level about the absolute. So that's why we say okay, awareness conceives, creates, and perceives. So in fact, that's we're mixing levels. We're speaking about awareness, which is beyond any activities, which is not in the active or inactive mode, and yet we're saying awareness conceives, creates, and perceives, and we say it's in no time, which is like really sort of a crazy thing to say. Like how could it be? The mind cannot conceive of that.
Only for the thinking in the thinking mind or whatever.
The mind operates in time. It says there's nothing that can appear outside of it in time. So the mind operates in time. It says, okay, wait a minute, I don't get it. How can there be creation, perception, but it's not in time? So this is quite challenging. This is why we go to, okay, well, let's go to our direct experience now.
Yes.
In our direct experience now, can you experience a moment later or a moment before? We say, no, we can't. So our experience is the trump card. It trumps the mind.
Yes.
Because the mind can go all over the place, but the trump card is our experience. Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So we go to our experience and we say, okay, well, all right, well, let's check it out. So we check it out, and we found that, okay, you're right. We cannot experience a moment before and experience later. So therefore, we cannot experience time. And yet there is this perception. Okay, so therefore, this perception is appearing not in time.
It's not separated or divided from reality, and so there sees that it's just that the direct experience does that, and yet at the same time it's interesting because the mind still falls back into or goes, but then why did he say, but you're explaining it. It's just a matter of language and going through the relative aspect in order to point to the one reality and the timelessness, and so forth and so on.
Yes.
So it's just, I think not only people have told me since I was born, it seems like, since whenever I've known, have always told me that sometimes I get too complex with these things. So sometimes they're quite simpler.
No,
But
you're doing fine. These are good questions. Now the thing is, the reason
Yeah.
why we speak about conception, creation, perception, and dissolution is because the mind wants to know, wants to have an explanation, for experience, for phenomenal experience.
Yeah.
And so we're providing the mind with a model. We're saying, okay, the mind believes in time. You believe in creation, okay? We believe in designing, creating, perceiving, destroying. These are concepts that the mind can work with. Says, okay, I get that. Okay.
Sure.
So we say, okay, fine. So we hold on to these, we use these concepts of conception, creation, perception, and dissolution to bring the mind on board. And then we zip the mind. We tell the mind, okay, it's happening, but not in time. And that's when the mind goes, whoa, what do you mean? You just, you're throwing a curved ball. You're throwing a curved ball. And this is when we tell the mind, okay, fine, let's go check it out.
Yeah.
And that's when we go to experience.
Yeah. Yes.
The mind goes along, says, okay, let's go check it out. And we tell the mind, okay, show me an experience of a second before or a second later.
Yeah.
Show me. Now the mind is on the spot. It's on the spot.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, where are those realities? Because it's not separate realities.
It's brought to, and then we say, okay, good. Our case, Your Honor, we rest our case. So we rest our case.
Yeah. Well, I think in some ways, because thought, like you said, there's things that are useful to divide and that are useful in the dream, whatever. But it's so I think it just tends to. There just seems to be like, I don't know how to describe this, but it's like you say like a boomerang, but it's not really like a boomerang. It's more like some board that I can't think of an object, a game board or something, that you pull it back and you say, this is, or maybe you pull it forward and it springs back. And so the mind just springs back into the conceptual, maybe even like the other caller had said, it seems to, it appears to, but there is nothing that's really doing that. It's the thought that's saying it's doing that, but it's like it springs back to, wait a minute, it's how can it be both,
Right.
and all that kind of stuff.
So
Yeah.
we visit the same territory again and again, again and again until the objections of the mind, are exhausted. They exhaust themselves.
Yeah, they just sort of disappear because they can't hold up anything, anything that can stay standing,
Right. Yes.
Yeah. Well, it's good. It's good that I asked the question and
Yes.
you answered it. I'm glad I have the recording. Thank you, Magdi.
Okay, John. Okay. Nice talking to you, John. Yes. Any questions? Okay, well, very lovely to be with you all. Holger, Nathan, John, Mark, Holly, George, and Grace, George, Jeff, and Shiva, Isaac, and my sweetie Tara. Thank you all.
Thank you, Magdi. Thank you.
Thank you, Magdi.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Maggie.